The coffee in Mark's mug had gone cold, a greasy film forming on its surface. He hadn't moved from his kitchen table for an hour, his eyes locked on the tablet screen. The headline blared, "Trump grants clemency to 12 in final hours. List includes major drug traffickers." His hands, calloused from 2 decades of laying bricks, began to tremble. He scrolled, his breath hitching. And there it was. Name: Alejandro El Sombra Ruiz. Crime: conspiracy to distribute 45 kilograms of fentanyl and heroin across state lines. Sentence: life without parole. Status: commuted. The world dissolved into a silent, screaming static. The kitchen, the one he'd painstakingly remodeled for Sarah, with the sunflower yellow walls she'd picked out tilted on its axis. Alejandro Ruiz. The name was a ghost, a demon he tried to bury in the deep, hard over parts of his memory. It was a name spoken only in the hushed, broken tones of a therapist's office. Sarah. His smile. His light. She'd been 19, a sophomore at State, her whole life a canvas of bright, brilliant colors. The night of the accident wasn't an accident at all. It was a transaction. A student, stressed over finals, bought what he was told was Adderall from a new contact on campus. It was a pill pressed in a clandestine lab, a lethal dose of fentanyl masquerading as focus. He took it, got behind the wheel of his Jeep, and ran a red light at 50 miles per hour. Sarah was in the crosswalk, carrying an armload of books, heading to the library. She was killed on impact. The investigation was a blur of numb horror. They traced the pill. It led to a distributor, who led to a regional supplier, who, after a massive de-operation, led to Alejandro Ruiz. Ruiz never pulled a trigger, but he was a wholesaler of death. The bricks of powder he moved were weaponized, and Sarah was a casualty of his war for profit. At the trial, Ruiz showed no remorse. His lawyers argued he was a businessman. Mark had sat in the front row, wearing Sarah's favorite color, blue, and when the life sentence was handed down, he felt a single, hard knot of justice tighten in his chest. It wasn't peace. It would never be peace. But it was a boundary stone. It meant the world acknowledged that what Ruiz did had a consequence, a permanent price. And now, with the stroke of a pen from a man he'd once voted for, that stone had been vaporized. Oro, animal sound tore from Mark's throat. He slammed his fist on the table, the mug jumping. Cold coffee bleeding across the wood like a stain. Commuted, not pardoned. The conviction remained, but the sentence was gone. After 7 years, Sarah had been gone for 7 years, and Ruiz would now walk free in a matter of months, maybe weeks. The why was a secondary agony, salt in the wound. The pundits on the screen chattered, overcrowded prisons, harsh sentencing from the 90s. Political bargain, a favor called in, words, abstract, bloodless words. To Mark, it translated to one unspeakable truth: Sarah's life was worth less than a political calculation. He stumbled to the living room, to the mantelpiece that was her shrine. Her graduation photo, her gap-toothed kindergarten smile, the seashells she'd found on their last vacation together. He picked up a framed picture of them, him hugging her from behind, both of them grinning in the sun. The glass fogged under his breath. "He's getting out, baby girl," he whispered, his voice cracking. "The man who made the poison, he's just walking away." The rage was a physical heat, followed by an ice-cold void of powerlessness. Who did he scream at? The system. The distant, marble halls of power. He was a bricklayer from Ohio. His currency was sweat and mortar, not influence. He thought of the other families. He wasn't alone. Somewhere, a mother who lost a son to an overdose from Ruiz's batch was seeing this news. A father whose daughter was still in rehab. Her brain forever scrambled by tainted drugs. They were a silent, shattered community, bound by loss, and now, by this fresh, profound betrayal. This wasn't about redemption or second chances. Ruiz had shown no repentance. This was about the value of American life. It was about the message it sent, that the architects of the opioid and fentanyl hellscape could be deemed worthy of mercy, while their victims were granted none. Mark put the photo down gently. The numbness was receding, replaced by a steely, clarifying grief. He would not be silent. He would find the others. They would say their loved ones' names. They would tell Sarah's story, not as a statistic, but as a vibrant, stolen future. They would stand on courthouse steps, write letters, give interviews. They would be a chorus of the lost, demanding to know if the price for flooding streets with poison is no longer a life behind bars, then what is it? What is my daughter's life worth? The clemency order spoke of justice served and mercy granted. But for Mark, staring at Sarah's smile frozen in time, justice had just been made. And the only thing left was a father's love, a cold, unwavering flame that no presidential pen could ever extinguish. The fight, he realized with a heavy heart, was all he had left of her. And it had just begun again.